All right, ladies and gentlemen, after you completed practicing all of your vocab from sections 10.1 and 10.2, and then gone through the other set of notes, being able to make sure that you know the 9 things that you need to mark first, then you were supposed to try to do page 2 of the foldable, letters A through L. And so we're going to run through those right now and kind of explain a few things. And if you have questions remaining, then you can always come to a Zoom session. So here we have, we were asked to find this measurement here of the arc, X. And so we were told that the inscribed circle, the inscribed angle was 37. And so if we double that, that would give us 74. And that is what X is here. In B, we're given this inscribed angle here at 48, and so if we go out to the arc and double that, that is 96. So that 96 is from here to here. If we take 360 and subtract 96, we get 264, which is now this whole part of the arc here. But since we have these congruent sides, then that means that this arc is congruent to this arc. And so therefore, if we take 264 and divide by 2, we'll end up with the measurement of this at 132. If we look at what we have here, this was given to us as a central angle as 87. So that means that this arc here is 87. But then if you go back and project into that inscribed angle, we're going to take 87 and take half of it, and it's going to give us 43.5. In letter D, you can see that we are given the inscribed angle here is 28, and if we work our way out to this arc by doubling it, that's going to give us 56. If we look at letter E, central angle here is 142, so that tells us this corresponding arc is 142. If we go from here all the way over to here, that would be a semicircle, so it'd be 180. So if I take 180 and subtract out the 142, that will give me 38 for the arc. If I go from the arc into that inscribed angle, I'm going to divide by 2 and get 19. In letter F, we're told that we have an angle here that is 138. And so we are asked to find this measurement in here for this angle. Well, if we have a triangle here, and our interior sum of our triangle is 180, and we subtract out the given, which was 138, that leaves us with 42. And since we know that these are congruent, then this is an isosceles triangle, and these base angles would have to be congruent. Then we could take that 42 and divide it by 2 to get 21. Looking at letter G, here is our inscribed angle at 90. If we work outwards to the arc, that tells us that this is 180. That also tells us that if we have the rest of this, 360 minus 180 is 180. And then we know that if we have that these chords are congruent, then these arcs are congruent. And then 180 divided by 2 would leave each one of these equaling 90. Letter H, if we take this 110 and we look at this arc and go back to the angle, that would be 55. Same thing here. If we look at this arc and go back to the angle, 55. So X will equal Y, and they both equal 55. Take a second to move this up a little bit. All right, if we look at letter I, we have a quadrilateral inside of a circle, and so that tells us that one of the things that we look for is that we have angles here that are supplementary. So I could take this 5x plus 2 and add it to this x plus 14, and I know that should equal 180, and that'll give me that x is approximately 22.7. In letter J, I'm given that the inscribed angle is represented by the expression 5x plus 2, and then the corresponding arc is 9x plus 26. So if I know the relationship between the two, that the angle is going to be 1/2 of the arc, I'm going to have the angle is equal to 1/2 of the arc. If I look at this, I could distribute this, but then that creates fractions. So what I do first is take that 1/2 and use the reciprocal, multiply by 2, which over here then would give me 10x plus 4. And when I multiply on the 2 by this side, that gives me 9x plus 26. And then I'm just able to solve that to get that x is 22. Okay. All right, if we look at letter K, very similar to letter H, we need to know that this angle in here and this angle in here are going to be the same, because if we look at the arc here and work our way back, that's what would happen. So therefore I need to take 4x minus 3 and set it equal to 2x plus 11. And when I solve that equation, I will get that x is equal to 7. All right, in letter L, we are given that the measure of arc BC right here is 126 degrees. So then we are asked to find the measure of angle ABC. Well, if we look at ABC, if the arc is 126, we're going to divide that by 2, and that'll give us 63. It then asks us to find the measure of the arc CEB. So CEB. So if this part was 126, then I'm going to have to take 360 minus 126, and then CEB will be 234. And then the last one there asks us to find the measure of angle CBD. That is angle CBD right here. If we knew already that this part right here was 63, and these two are supplementary or a linear pair, then we're just going to take 180 minus 63 to get to 117 degrees.